and welcome to our new feature that we're going to be doing Saturday nights, probably forever, as much as we keep enjoying it and if people like it. So we're just kind of trying it, but this is our Saturday night sleepover.
Yeah.
Where we're going to sit under this ridiculous concoction that someone's got to make. Someone's got to make every Saturday night, so we can have a sleepover.
Our thoughts were, if you aren't too great at being social in the real world and spend a lot of time on the internet like us, that we could all join in an online sleepover. We can get in our PJs. We haven't really got any snacks.
No.
That was bad planning. And just talk about a book. So feel free to read along with the book with us, actually.
Yes.
That'd be interesting.
So we're going to do a book chapter by chapter. Mm-hmm. It is a spoiler review, full spoilers, because we're going to delve right in.
Yeah.
And we've picked a corker to have a little gossip.
Yeah,
We're like getting in our jammers and having a gossip.
Yeah.
And because I haven't got friends, I've got to spend my Saturday nights with him.
Mm.
So this is what our Saturday nights are going to involve in. And obviously it's not really a sleepover.
No. No, after this, we stop shooting this video. We deconstruct the tent and get on with our normal lives.
But it does mean that every Saturday he's now going to be doing this in the office, and we get to come in the office in our pajamas, which are a little bit warm.
It's so hot under here. This is a stupid idea. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of this silly behaviour. Shall we get on to the book?
Yes. So earlier today, I read, or tonight even, I read 2 chapters of 13 Reasons Why.
I also read 2 chapters, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So we're going to be delving into those 2 chapters. So we're going to do 2 chapters a week, probably forever. Because I don't know how long the book is. It's not that long, actually.
It's not long, but feel free to join in with us. Read 2 chapters a week. That's not bad, is it? You can catch up for next week.
Yeah.
If you fancy it, or if you've read it obviously before, you can.
Or if you can't be bothered to read it, we're going to be talking about it, so you can just pretend that you've read it.
Pretend that you've read it, yeah.
So I've got some notes on what I made, because I tend to read chapters and they go out of my head.
Yeah, same.
It's quite hard to delve into chapters.
It is.
So this is our Saturday night sleepover. At that point, you can do some music, so you can do doodle-doo-doo-doo. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. So chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
First of all, what did you think?
Woo!
Really?
So am I right in saying, I really hope I'm right in saying, that this was the future when he was passing it on, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, well, you explain what happened.
Okay. Wow, you got me
Because
forgotten.
I fully can't remember it.
Okay, so chapter 1. We get introduced to this young guy. We don't yet know his name, so this is chapter 1.
Okay,
so we don't yet know his name.
Yeah.
And we get used to a young guy, and I think he's in some sort of post office.
Yes,
that's the kind
he's in
of
the
thing.
post office.
Okay, so that's the kind of thing that I got from that. And he is
The kind of thing you got from that.
Yeah, but
The words he did say post office, because he even said that it was the only post office around.
Oh, did he?
Because he said if the other people.
See what I mean? It just goes out of my head.
Oh,
like I've only just read this. Right. Okay. So it's in the post office, and the only post office around.
He explains that he's received this package with no return contact on. And he was originally excited, but now obviously he knows better, although we don't know what the package is yet.
Yeah.
And he's in the post office sending it on to a person who yet we don't know.
Yes.
And we don't know why he's sending this parcel, what the parcel has in it. It's
Yes.
a real hook of a beginning.
It is a really short chapter in this one.
It is.
It then describes his school, his classroom,
Yes.
including some of the people in his class,
Yes.
some of the desks, and then he says that one desk will remain empty.
Yes.
And that's Hannah Baker's desk.
Yes.
So that's what he says about that one.
Yes.
And then he goes on to talking about receiving some tapes
Yes.
through the post, which now we presume that that's what he's sending on.
Yes.
And then he finds out that his name is one of the 13 on the list.
Yes, and he even makes a quip about the baker's dozen, which is of course 13. If you don't know why, it's because when, a dozen's 12, but when a baker makes 12 or a dozen things, they always leave a little one over for themselves, and that's called a baker's dozen. That's 13. And she's called Hannah Baker, so very clever.
Okay, so on this list that Hannah wrote, so the people who were on that list is one of the reasons why she killed herself. And that's what we get to on the end of that chapter.
We haven't explained what it's about. You just drop the bomb that she killed herself.
No,
that
but
the thing?
that's what it says.
Does it?
Yeah, it says on the end of that chapter, if you're on that list, that's one of the reasons why I kill myself. That's the chapter. That's the hook of the chapter. You idiot.
Well deduced, Watson.
Yes, some Sherlock he is. Right, so basically, the first chapter. So what did you think as a first chapter?
I thought it was a really... Well, I had no problem moving on to the second chapter.
Yeah.
Basically. It was the best way I can describe it. It was a good opener, a little bit of mystery in there, kind of did set the scene right for the what I think is going to be the rest of the book.
Yeah.
As opening chapters go, it was decent. Nothing to set this story out from anything else just yet, in my opinion.
I think it did hook you. I
Definitely
do
was a
admit
hook, yes.
I had to read it twice to get into it.
Right.
Because I wasn't fully with it at first.
Right.
However, by the time you get to the end, and she does talk about find out that your name is one of the 13 on the list. That is the reason why, one of the reasons why I killed myself. You are thinking, oh my god, like especially because you're involved with this first character, and you do think this main character, which I'm presuming is going to be, you kind of think because he seems like a nice,
normal guy.
So I don't find.
I think that the thing is like when you sort of consume anything. When I was reading this first chapter, it immediately got me thinking, what would I do if I was in that situation?
Yeah.
I had found out that someone had blamed me for their reason of wanting to die, even though he had no idea what he did.
Yeah.
So it immediately makes you think, oh, what have I done to people I don't really know, it's strangers or school friends, college friends, work friends. What have I said? Because not normally register everything you say. And what if you say something that has really upset that person and you don't know? It makes you think of all that kind of stuff. So I guess the kind of underlying theme for maybe the whole thing, but definitely the first chapter is just be careful what you say to people.
Yeah, I think that's the message straight off the top there. So chapter 2.
Yes.
We find out that the main character's name is Clay.
Yes.
And he jumps in and starts listening to the first tape.
Yes, he uses, it comes in old retro tapes, and he mentions going to the garage, where his dad bought from like a garage sale, bought an old like kind of tape recorder thing, doesn't he?
Yes.
Plays tapes, and so he plugs this in. He tells his mum.
So at this point, we've gone back slightly from the first chapter.
Yes.
At this point, he doesn't know that the tapes are from Hannah.
He's received the.
Yeah, he's
box.
just received the tapes, and he's just found an old tape player.
Yes.
Of his dad's.
He's
so now
got some time on his own.
Yes.
Said to his mum that he was doing a school project.
Yes. Yeah.
Clicked play.
Yeah, and then he hears Hannah's voice, explaining that if you're on that list, you're one of the reasons why I killed myself. So he then goes into this thing of, what have I done? Why am I on this list? What number am I?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't say that. Although it does say that the number 13 is a teacher.
Yes,
that's what we get from that.
Says the person who is number 13 doesn't have to pass it on to anybody.
Yeah.
I think she says that
you can go to hell.
Yes.
Yeah. That might have been the end of chapter 1.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, could have been. But it's Minkle.
But yeah.
Too. Yeah.
So in this one, he clicks play on the first tape.
Yeah.
And here he hears Hannah talk about a young guy called Justin.
Yeah.
Which
he says he doesn't know why he knows this, but it was Hannah's first kiss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Claire doesn't know why. He knows it, but it was Hannah's first kiss. And then she goes into details about how they met. And describes how Justin was her first kiss on a slide at the playground.
Yeah.
She liked Justin, and he was the first person to give. He was the first person she gave her phone number to.
Yes.
So she had like a nice crush.
Yeah. He was in like the year or two above her in school. I don't know how the sophomore or junior. I don't know how it works in America, but
yeah. And she goes to the playground with him. They're playing on the slide. She describes it as a nice romantic kind of scene, just a nice scene. And then he kisses her.
So then it goes back to Clay, and Clay says about... she makes a point about all they did was kiss.
Yeah.
And then she says, "I bet you've heard something more." And then Clay goes, I did hear that you did something more. And apparently this Justin was spreading rumours about Hannah and saying that they did more on their first date. Basically saying her words that she was a slut.
Yeah. Justin is the most popular boy in the school, I gather.
Yeah.
He plays, is it
baseball? She just said it was like some kind of playing ball. She said she didn't know. Yeah.
Which Clay played with him because they tried to get some tips off him because he already had a scholarship, is it?
Something
or
like
something,
that,
yeah. Sorry, we're not familiar with the American terms, which is really bad. Yeah. So it goes through that. After listening to the first tape, Clay bikes over to his friend's house.
Yeah.
And he gets chatting to his dad.
Yeah.
His dad asks him to...
Says that parents have always liked him.
Yeah.
He's always that kind of guy, your parents like.
Yeah. And then his dad asks him to help out in his car, wearing notices and Walkman, that he can listen to the tapes on.
Yeah.
And without thinking, he puts that Walkman in his bag and turns to leave.
Yeah.
Amongst talking to his friend, he's worried that his friend's going to find out about him taking the Walkman, but he doesn't catch on, and Clay gets away off to go listen to.
And now he can listen to the rest of these tapes on the move.
Yeah. And that's chapter 2.
That is chapter 2. So what do we think then? What do we think so far of this book?
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed listening when it got into chapter 2 because it starts getting into the tapes.
Yeah.
And I'm really intrigued to find out what they actually did. Because although it has gone into Justin being her first kiss and spreading some rumours, I mean, is that just what you said about you've got to be really, really careful about what you...
I mean, obviously spreading rumours, especially of that nature, can hurt people. I mean, that's not rocket science. But still, people do it. People don't realise you can take that stuff so seriously. So again, it's just a constant reminder. It's a constant reminder to check your own behaviour and know that what you're doing very well could be not all right.
Yeah.
You could be really hurting someone. So I guess it is that kind of thing of, well, just make sure you're not hurting someone's feelings.
Yeah. So Justin was the first person on the list.
Yeah.
So we found out what he's done. I'm guessing it is going to be this thing of people's perception of what you do.
Yeah.
That's what the feel I'm getting from the book. I don't think...
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's quite a serious thing, making rumours up and things like that.
It can be. Yeah. Obviously for Hannah.
So I think it's going to... So, yeah, I think this is... What I read about the book, what people's perception, it's one of those books that, people have been quite up in arms about it, really.
Yeah.
So it'd be quite interesting.
I mean, I just know, because obviously the Netflix show is very... I've never seen the Netflix show.
No.
It's very popular at the moment, and people do say, like I was talking to one of my friends, and he was saying that he was saying how much he enjoyed it, but there was some difficult parts in it, and I said, what do you mean by difficult? And he explained the suicide aspect of it, and he said, although they're very difficult scenes and very, it's obviously not the most pleasant subject, but it is very necessary because it's such a big part of life, and especially at that young age when you're mingling with people. I think
because all this stuff is surrounded, like even the first bit is at school with her. Yeah. It's involving Claire, who's at school. She's mentioned that the final bit is for a teacher.
Yeah.
What can a teacher have done? If this is just one, does it get worse?
And how many throughout the world? How many teachers are making these mistakes in real life?
That's true. Yeah. I mean, even as adults, I think you've got to be careful what you say to people.
Everybody, just because sometimes you do say things that you don't kind of mean or realise. And obviously they can have a big effect. You never know what someone's going through. You never know how serious people can take it, and if they've got maybe some issues themselves to deal with. Obviously, you just don't know, do you? You don't know what people are going through if you don't know them that well, and you can just say something off the cuff that can really upset. I think everyone's said something that's upset someone. I think that's the thing everyone. But obviously, if you don't, I mean, usually if you upset someone, you can go over a pot. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Yeah. I didn't know, etc. But sometimes you just don't know because people keep it bottled up. I mean, you upset me daily, and I try and keep it bottled up. Yeah.
So I think as 2 chapters go, I'm very intrigued to find out who next is on the list. I think it's well written.
Yeah.
I like the main character that we're following for now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that'll change. But I like it.
I think that'd be kind of a cool twist, actually, if you realise what he's done. Yeah. And you're like,
it really would be.
He'd probably know.
But I like that it goes from. It goes past and future, so it's like talking about Hannah's problems, and it goes right into that. It goes right into like when she met Justin.
It's a brilliant idea.
I like that Claire's points of view cutting to that as well.
Yeah.
That constantly cuts between the tapes as if you were really listening to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I'm intrigued. So this is our Saturday fun.
Yeah, so this is our Saturday sleepover. I hope you've had fun in your jammies as well.
If you're watching this as well and you've read the first 2 chapters, please let us know what you thought of the first 2.
Yeah. And if you haven't read this book or seen the series or haven't just read the book and you want to kind of join us, then pick up the book, listen to read 4 chapters by the time the next video is out, and you'll be caught up, and we can discuss. You can let us know your thoughts, and we can.
So these are going to be every Saturday.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some fun with this one. We're going to really take it, because everything in the chapters, what we spoke about, is everything that happens.
Yeah.
What we don't talk about is not worth mentioning.
No.
Because obviously we don't do it word for word. But
no.
But
if it's not on our list, it's not about it.
No. So this is a really in-depth look, but kind of in our way.
Yeah.
We do forget everything, so you probably want to read it anyway.
Thank you very much for watching. And it's time for us to go inside. Do you get it? Because we're in a tent and we're going to go inside of the house. You get it? It was like a joke about like when you have a sleepover in a tent, and then obviously that it gets to about 11 o'clock and people realise...
He's never been in a tent in his life, because he doesn't like sleeping on the ground.
I don't... Who does? but no, but you know when you have like all your mates and you're like... and then you're out in a tent, and then it gets to about 11 o'clock, and then everyone goes, "Are we really going to sit in the tent all night?" And then people go, "No, let's go inside." And then, so that's what we're going to do.
Thanks.
Thank you very much for watching. Check out our other videos, and please let us know what you think of the setup.